Hello, my name's Jason. I'm not an archaeologist, but I do play one on TV. So come join me as we go into the dust.
All right, so we are up to Q, and I had to strain a little bit for this one because, as you probably know, Q isn't exactly the most commonly used letter in the alphabet. In fact, it's the least common. So, yeah, Q is a bit of a weird one. So for Q, we are going to serve up quarter sectioning, or what is sometimes referred to as quadrant sectioning. And this isn't the most sexy topic, but I'll do my best.
No, my friend, too sexy!
But I must.
No! Too sexy! No, please, no!
And if nothing else, you'll actually learn a bit about how archaeology is actually done every day, like literally every day.
Literally.
So when digging at archaeological sites, archaeologists don't just take a shovel or an excavator and dig the whole place up. They dig in sections. What's a section? Well, it's what you see right there on the screen. It's when you dig straight down into an archaeological feature, leaving a vertical wall. And in fact, that diagram you're looking at, that's from a publication by Sir Mortimer Wheeler, kind of a colorful figure in archaeology who came up with a lot of the modern practices still used today. And by the way, he was the founder of the Institute of Archaeology at UCL, where I'm a student. Anyway, so why dig down like this, taking all the trouble to make that nice vertical plane? Why not just dig the whole sucker up? Well, if you remember, archaeology is all about stratigraphy. Those are those layers of fill, soil, debris, whatever, that accumulate over time. And they tell us a lot about what happened at that site, both natural and man-made processes. Imagine this. You're at a dig in Britain. And actually, you don't really need to imagine this because you'll find this pretty much every day on a dig in Britain. But you find a pit. Now, this pit was used by an ancient village over a very long period of time. It was used as a garbage dump, what we call a midden. So people threw their trash in there and it just accumulated and accumulated. So at the bottom, you find animal bones from wild types of animal like deer. And then you find a layer on top of that with bones of more domesticated types of animals like sheep and cow, and maybe even some green, because that actually survives pretty well in the ground in some contexts. Above that, there's a layer of charred burning, and above that, finally filling in that pit, is a layer of loess or alluvial soil. That just basically means stuff brought in by the wind or stuff brought in by flowing water. So how can we interpret this? Well, that first layer was wild game, so maybe this was a phase when the people living or staying there were hunter-gatherers. Then after that, the grain and the domesticated animals, that represents the beginning of farming. Perhaps this site was continuously occupied. On top of that, there was that charred burning, which means the village burned down, and then it was abandoned, which is why the soil drifted or flowed down on top of the site.
This is a story you're making up in your own head.
Well, maybe, Judge Judy. But you probably will also find some other archaeological evidence like radiocarbon dates, like pollen analysis, like human remains in and around that pit, which will help you corroborate this story. For example, perhaps you'll find skeletons like this, with obvious signs of violence, laying about the site haphazardly. That probably indicates that that burning may have been part of a planned attack of the site, and that's why it was abandoned. And again, radiocarbon dating and stratigraphy will help tell you whether or not some of those events happened around the same time. So sectioning allows us to establish that initial timeline and see what was happening over time.
Everybody got that? Good!
So back to our pit. Imagine we didn't do the whole sectioning thing and we just dug the whole thing up. And what are we left with? A pit. Congratulations, you've destroyed all the evidence, but that's a nice pit you've got there.
Hey, that's it! Yay!
So yeah, that's why we do sectioning. Now back to our Q term, quarter sectioning. Quite simply, this is usually when we have a round or ovoid feature, like our pit, and we dig it in two opposing quadrants, just like you see in this picture. And what this does is to give us a full cross-section of the whole feature before we just dig the whole thing out. Now this brings up 2 points. First, archaeology is poor. Poor in terms of time and poor in terms of money.
Your mom is so poor she can't even pay attention.
So suppose we find a feature and we do a limited section that doesn't really tell us anything, or no, maybe it actually tells us exactly what's going on. Either way, this could save us the time and the cost of digging the whole feature out. It's time saving and cost saving. And second, archaeology is destructive. When we dig stuff up, we destroy it. So if we don't do that sectioning, we're going to lose all the information that stratigraphy held forever. You can't get it back. And our Q word, quarter sectioning, remember, that's a good way to section round or oval features.
Everybody got that? Good.
The end.
Wait! Where are you going?
Hey, if you like what you heard, give me that thumbs up below, hit that bell to subscribe, or if you want to support more independent archaeology content, consider contributing to my Patreon, where you can enjoy some exclusive members-only benefits and other goodies. Until the next dig.